Hi everyone, and welcome to another video on TSF Transport, a channel all about public transport in Austria and beyond. Today, we're going to be travelling on the Silva Nortica, which is a scenic train ride that is going to take us from Vienna via the Waldviertel and South Bohemian regions all the way to Prague. On the way, we're going to learn why this particular train service was relaunched a couple of years ago. Furthermore, you're going to be seeing plenty of scenic views out of the train window of the Waldviertel region. And last but not least, I'm going to give you a tour through the different train carriages. And I'm going to tell you which train carriage is my personal favourite. So at the moment, I'm standing outside Wien-Franz-Josefs-Bahnhof, which is where our journey is going to be starting today. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to head into the station now, and on the way, I'm going to tell you all the interesting facts you need to know about this train journey today. The Silva Nortica is a train service that runs between Vienna and Prague via the Waldviertel and South Bohemian regions. The journey time to travel from Vienna to Prague on this service is about 5 hours, with a total of 22 scheduled stops along the way. By comparison, the railjet train service between the two capital cities, which runs on a different line via Brno, takes just over 4 hours. While the Silva Nortica might not be the fastest train service to get to Prague, it definitely scores in terms of the beautiful scenery it offers. Starting at Wien-Franz-Josefs-Bahnhof, the Silva Nortica runs all the way along the Franz-Josefs-Bahn railway line, through the very rural Waldviertel region to České Velenice, which is the border station to the Czech Republic. From there, the train continues on a non-electrified section of track to Veselé nad Lužnicí. There, the train joins the main line that comes from České Budějovice before continuing all the way to Prague's main railway station, Praha Hlavní nádraží. The service was launched in December 2022, providing new direct connections between the Waldviertel region and Prague, making it no longer necessary to change trains at the country border. While the Silva Nortica is a fairly new service, the direct link from Vienna to Prague has a long history. Back in the 20th century, the iconic Wien-Dobona train, which travelled between Vienna, Prague and Berlin, used the route of today's Silva Nortica between Vienna and Prague. During the time of the Cold War, the Wien-Dobona was a popular train service used by people from Western Berlin and Scandinavia as a transit route through Eastern Germany to get to Vienna. The Wien-Dobona travelled along the Franz-Josefs-Bahn railway line until 1992, before it was rerouted to run via Brno. It wasn't until the beginning of the 2020s that numerous local politicians and stakeholders declared their aspiration to reinstate the direct rail service from the Franz-Josefs-Bahn railway line to Prague. As an initiative to provide better cross-border transport connections, the Lower Austrian and South Bohemian regions worked together to reinstate the direct link, bringing the Wien-Dobona back to life again after 26 years. As the name Wien-Dobona is already used by the railjet trains nowadays that run between Vienna and Prague via Brno, a new name for the train had to be found. Silva Nortica, which is Latin for northern woods, is often used to describe the cross-border region of the Waldviertel and South Bohemia. The name is usually utilised in the context of international cooperation projects. Hence, it was seen as a well-suited name for this new train service. When initially launched in 2022, there was only one daily Silva Nortica train service in each direction and a second journey which ran only on weekends. This was enhanced to 2 daily services in each direction in December 2023, which is the level of service as of today. So I'm inside Wien-Franz-Josefs-Bahnhof now, and as you can see, our train is already here. One thing that's great about this train is the fact that on the Austrian section between Vienna and České Velenice, you can actually sit in first class with a second class ticket. This is because in Austria this train is actually classed as a Regionalexpress, so it's basically like a local train, while in the Czech Republic this train is classed as a Rychlik, so there it's a long distance train. And because regional trains in Austria per definition do not have a first class, you can sit in first class with a second class ticket. And I mean, hey, who doesn't love a free upgrade to first class? I think I'm going to take a seat in here. So we have now just left Tulln and are crossing the river Danube, and now we're going to be on the way up to the Waldviertel region. Our next stop on this service is going to be Eggenburg, and actually this is going to be the longest part of the journey where there are no scheduled stops in between. So now we're going 35 minutes non-stop to Eggenburg. As I already said, this train has quite a lot of different carriages, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to take you on a little tour through the train now. So at the front of the train we have a Taurus locomotive, class 1116, and I'm in the first carriage of the train, which is the first class coach. This carriage consists of first class compartments with 6 seats each. I must say you've got quite a lot of space here. The seats are pretty comfortable, although to be fair, I have seen more comfortable first class seats before. So now I'm going to head on into the next carriage. So this carriage here is known as the multifunction carriage, so you've basically got a wild mixture of different things. Here we first have space for carrying bicycles. You've got plenty of room, definitely better than what you get on ÖBB Railjet trains. Then along the next part of the carriage you have compartments again for 6 people. This is a second class compartment. And then here you actually have 3 seats next to each other, but it's like an open space area. So this compartment is actually intended for families and children. And these doors over here, well, they're supposed to open automatically, but when you press the button, nothing happens. So basically the only way to get through is to wrench them open like this. So in the next part of the carriage we have another very spacious area for bicycles. Also here we have this very large door where you can actually get on with a wheelchair. And in the next carriage we have even more space for bicycles. I must say they have really catered for cyclists on this train. So the next carriage is another second class carriage. It is one with an open seating plan, so it's more spacious. You've got seats that are in rows, seats that are groups of 4 with foldable tables. And I must say, even though these carriages are very old, České dráhy have definitely done a very good job at modernising them and making them look nice. So the next carriage here is another second class carriage with compartments for 6 people. I'm just going to go into one of the compartments and have a look. So here I am in one of the compartments. I must say they're very comfortable, and to be honest, I'd actually even say that these seats are more comfortable than the first class seats because they're super well cushioned. We've got electric power sockets down here, including USB charging. And what's actually also cool about these compartments is the fact that you can fold the seats out and create a kind of bed, which is really cool. I mean, look at this, you'd never get this kind of comfort on a modern day train. Personally, I'd say that out of all the carriages on this train, this one has to be my personal favourite. So we are now at the border station to the Czech Republic, which is České Velenice, and here our Taurus locomotive is going to be leaving us. So we now recently left České Velenice and now we're on the non-electrified section of track going up to Vězely nad Lužnicí, and I must say that this section is definitely a lot slower and a lot more bumpy than the line before. And what's really cool is that here at the back of the train you actually have a really cool view of the line. So I'm now in the compartment car with my friend Jan Christian, who got on at Gmünd, and I just wanted to ask him a few questions. So, Jan Christian, how often have you travelled on the Silva Nortica before?
Well, so far it's been twice in this past month, this month, twice, yeah.
But have you travelled all the way to Prague on it before, or only on the Austrian section?
Only from Vienna to Gmünd.
What's your general opinion on the Silva Nortica? How do you like it?
I love this train. It is really great. It is like you have this air-conditioned cars. You have this fast way to get through Waldviertel, and especially the best part about it is you finally have the way to get from a Waldviertel directly to Prague, which hasn't existed for a long time. So it's a great train, and it is like when you go for a longer time, you really touch from space and time in a way. It's just nice to not be always on the fastest way.
Totally agree. So we are now at Vězely nad Lužnicí, where we are back on the main line again, and we're going to have another locomotive change, and we're going to get an electric locomotive again. So as you can see, this is the new Class 362 locomotive that has been coupled to our train, and funnily enough we've actually got another extra coach, which I wasn't expecting. So I'm back on the train again now, and now we're going on our last stretch of the journey on the main line up to Prague's main railway station, Praha Hlavní nádraží. Definitely notice on this section of the route the line speed is a lot higher. We've got a lot of tunnels and sections of the line that have been straightened, and therefore you've got a nice, swift, speedy ride. So we are now at Praha Vršovice, which is the one but last stop before we get to Prague's main railway station. So slowly and surely I'm going to get ready to get off the train. So here we are. We have arrived at the final station, Praha, hlavní nádraží. I must say, I really enjoyed this train ride. It was really great and full of different contrasts. I hope you enjoyed the train ride as much as I did. Let me know in the comments whether you have already travelled on the Silva Nortica or whether you're planning to do so in the future. And if you haven't yet, do subscribe to the channel as there will be more interesting content like this coming in the future. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!